What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the first half of exclusive games for the Nintendo Switch that I'm looking forward to, or that I know I'll be playing on the channel for you guys. Now, this isn't going to include everything. There might be some titles that are like PC and Nintendo Switch that's not on this list, but it's just stuff that I know for sure I'm going to be checking out. So before we get into all this, please make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe if you're someone new. Now, let's first start off with a game that just recently came out, if you're watching this video as of February, and that is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but man, Bowser's Fury is really good. I like what they did with the gameplay, and I haven't talked about this on a separate video of mine, but I love what they did with that. Maybe it's a little bit of foreshadowing for the next big Mario game, but this whole huge open world where you can go to any area or any spot and just start collecting and start getting stuff is really cool. I also like the little agenda that they have on there to where you can stock up on different power-ups like the mushroom or like the cat bell and all sorts of stuff. So these are ideas that are new and fresh for the Mario series, or they bring back into it, that makes playing Bowser's Fury fresh and definitely worth the price of admission for me with Super Mario 3D World, because I did purchase the game physical on the Nintendo Switch. Plus, I've been going through and playing the regular game Super Mario 3D World single player, not with online, although I did test out online. It works if people have good connections and are like wired and all that, but if you're further away and Wi-Fi doesn't really work too well, but that's also really good too. I've just been playing that single player. I think that's fantastic. So they have a great package there for February. But now we're going to move on to the next game that's coming out very soon as of the time that I'm recording this video, and that is Bravely Default 2. This is a phenomenal old school style of RPG with some new twists in there. If you like old school Final Fantasy with the jobs and classes, this is the game for you. Nintendo's heavily helping out with this one, and it is a Nintendo Switch exclusive for the time being, and pretty much every single Bravely Default game is a Nintendo exclusive. This series started back on the Nintendo 3DS with the Bravely Default game, then you had Bravely Second End Layer, and now you have this game right here. So it's pretty cool to see the evolution of Bravely Default, and quite a jump they did going from the Nintendo 3DS to the Nintendo Switch, but it still has that style in terms of like the art and kind of what they do with it, and the gameplay in the game is what really makes Bravely Default shine. The different jobs and classes, being able to swap between them on the fly in the game, it just makes it to where it's very fun, and there's a lot of variety within the combat, a lot of different ways that you can exploit your foes, a lot of different ways to where you can defeat battles, and it has that classic difficulty that you want, and they also adjusted it to where you can put it on easier too from the demo. So if you're into huge RPG adventures like myself, Bravely Default 2 is a game that has to be played on the Nintendo Switch. It's coming out pretty soon here on the 26th of February, so I'm looking forward to playing that. Next up on the list is Monster Hunter Rise. This game, I'm like already sold on the game. Monster Hunter looks so great, but the trailer they showed off in the most recent Nintendo Direct even looked better than what we saw with the demo and some of the other trailers and the Direct that they had for it last year and everything. It's really cool to see a Monster Hunter game on the RE adapted engine for the Switch run for that, and not just a port of something else where they're bringing it over and trying to say, okay, we're going to do this, but actually building the game for the Nintendo Switch, and this is the result. You have a phenomenal looking game. Looks like it's going to play very well based on what I played in the demo, and I'm very excited to get into the Monster Hunter lore and the Monster Hunter universe and just trying to get good at the game, because man, I've tried with previous Monster Hunters and it just hasn't worked for me. But after playing the demo, this one has a lot of promise for me, and I think this is going to be a very good game based on the different combat and weapons and options and what they've added in. It's really cool. So hopefully Monster Hunter Rise can hook me like the other Monster Hunter games have not. Now, next up is a game that's kind of been forgot about, but we're gonna hear about it pretty soon here with the whole Pokemon anniversary and everything, and that is Pokemon Snap 2. This is a game that's coming out in April, the very end of April, and it's a game that we don't know too much about. We know that we're gonna be able to take pictures pretty much in like a guided type of on-rails experience, experience. You're going to be able to manipulate the environment in order to get the Pokemon to do different poses and different things. And then the better picture you take, the better center and focus and everything, that will give you a score at the end. But we need to know what else there's going to be. Is there going to be multiplayer, or how is the multiplayer going to work? Is there going to be different things that you could do with the single player? What are the different modes in the game? There's still a lot of content to be revealed, or a lot of things to be revealed about this game. And obviously the game looks absolutely beautiful, which of course it needs to, because you're taking pictures of Pokemon, you're not doing combat and all that. But maybe there's some alternative modes in the game that are a bit different from what we got all the way back in the day on the N64. So I'm excited to see what else they're gonna do with Pokemon Snap, because it's been, what, 20 years? I think they need to do a little bit more than it just being the same type of picture taking and that's it, and doing some stuff and then that's all you do, right? So I'm guessing that there's some different modes and different things that you can do. And of course, Bandai Namco on the case with this one here, working with Nintendo on quite a bit of Pokemon extra type of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to offer for Pokemon Snap 2. Now after that, we've got Miitopia, which is a game that I'm actually not too excited for. I'll be honest, I'm not too excited for, but Nintendo will probably get me a review code for it. And the more that I look at the game, it seems like it's some type of adventure RPG with the Miis and all that. I've never been a big Mii person myself in terms of like the Miis for Nintendo, but I'll definitely check out the game. Now, it's also a Nintendo 3DS game, so it looks like it's a remaster or a remake of the Nintendo 3DS game, maybe with some added content and extra stuff into it. I did play it a little bit on the 3DS, but it never really hooked me like a lot or anything. But this is going to be a $50 game on the Nintendo Switch, and it's coming out this May as well. So we'll see how people kind of react to it and everything. But it does look, for those who liked Miitopia on the Nintendo 3DS, that you're going to get a pretty good adaptation of the game over to the Nintendo Switch here. So we'll see how it turns out, but I'm not terribly excited for it, but I'm pretty sure I'll get a review code, so I'll be playing it some way, shape, or form for you guys. Now, next up after this is something that I'm actually super excited about, and that is some Mario Golf. Let's go, man. Mario Golf is one of those games I used to play so much back in the day. I have the game recently. I just got it not too long ago. Was Mario Golf Toadstool's Tour. That is the GameCube game. Everyone says that's the best Mario Golf game. I played a ton of Mario Golf on the N64, and I bought the game on the Nintendo 3DS, but I didn't play it a lot, the Mario Golf game on the 3DS. So really, most of my experience comes from the Mario Golf on the N64 and what they did there, but I played a little bit of the GameCube one as well. So if this one can be anywhere near as good as the N64 and GameCube ones, then I'm all good on this one here, man. But the Speed Golf looks really good. The graphics look nice and polished. The motion controls look like they're going to be a lot of fun to kind of emulate that if you have friends over or family. And then of course the online play, having that is good too. Plus the big thing here, guys, the RPG story mode. It looks like it's going to be in-depth. You're going to be able to do a bunch of stuff and level up and kind of adapt your character the way that you want to adapt it. So I'm very happy about that RPG mode, and I think this is going to be really good. I think it is, and we're not going to have to wait too long. It's coming this June for that game, so I'm excited about that one. Now, next up is a game that's been extremely controversial, and that is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, because of the price of the game. But to be honest, price is subjective. So if you don't want it, then you don't buy it. But for me, I want it because I did not like the original release of the game. The motion controls just were not for me. They were okay, they worked for what they were, but they weren't as like one-to-one enough for me. And I got kind of tired doing all that when it comes to it. So I wanted a version of Skyward Sword to where you can play with buttons, and to where I can enjoy the game all the way through. And that's what this is. And it's doubled frame rate, right? And we got better frame rate, and we have better fidelity, and we have HD, so we can actually play it on TV and it doesn't look absolutely horrible. Because the Wii game, man, on my HD TV and with those motion controls, I just was like, oh my gosh, let me just get through this. But now I can actually play it portable, and I can actually play it on my TV and it not look jank, and I can play with regular button controls. Man, to me, I think that this is a home run for me, and I still feel that they're going to reveal more on this game. A lot of people are saying that there's nothing else added to the game. Nintendo never stated that there wasn't anything else added to the game. They could be waiting or saving that to announce it later at like a direct, like a Zelda themed direct or something like that. So I think that we're going to get more, and the reason why I say that is because there was amiibo support in the game that they didn't detail at all in that presentation or in the direct recently. So I'm still on the boat that there's going to be more to this game, quality of life improvements and other things that they have not mentioned just yet. But I'll take the updated motion controls because it seems like they're going to be more one-to-one, and I'll take those button controls. So I'm excited to play it because Skyward Sword is probably like my least favorite 3D Zelda game out of all of them, and it's just because of the motion controls. So now you got 60 frames per second. I think it's the first console Zelda game to run at 60. I know we've got like A Link Between Worlds and some of the portable games that have, but I think it's the first console one to actually run at 60. So that's a good thing as well. So I'm looking forward to The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD quite a bit. But like I said, if you don't feel it's worth it, then don't buy it. If you do, it's right there for you. Or if you want the Wii version, you can get that one as well. So next up and last on the list here is No More Heroes 3. This game obviously looked a little bit jank from what they showed, right? The resolution and some of the graphics with the scenes, but it looks like it's going to be absolutely insane, and it still looks way better than what we got on the Wii, man. Like the Wii No More Heroes games, whew, those were a little bit rough. So this is going to be better than that, and it also looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. The boss battles, they're going to throw you into all sorts of situations that were different gameplay styles, kind of like Travis Strikes Again, right? So I think that this is going to be pretty cool here, but we've still got all of the regular combat, that third-person action combat that we know and love from No More Heroes 1 and No More Heroes 2. Kind of more on the No More Heroes 2 side when it comes to the fidelity and kind of how fast Travis moves and everything. So I'm terribly excited to get into No More Heroes 3, and hopefully they kind of shore up some of those other things when it comes to the graphics and the resolution and everything. Hopefully they do, but the game's still off. This game isn't quite first half. This game is August. It's right afterwards. A little bit more when it comes to their first half lineup from when the direct was, at least. So I guess we can say it from the fiscal year, right? March. So first half from there, man. So I'm excited for these games, and I think that there's a lot more that could be revealed. There probably could be a couple other surprises here and there that Nintendo does reveal that's going to come out. Maybe some third-party games as well. But I wanted to go over my most anticipated first half games or so exclusive lineup, right? There might be some more indie games and stuff that I didn't put out here, but these games I'm all looking forward to. They're more of the bigger ended games that people are going to check out on the Switch. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? What games are you looking forward to out of the lot here, or if you're already playing them? Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go and check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.